Good morning. This is CSS part 2, and I think we should be wrapping this up fairly quickly, believe it or not. Even though we still have 3 more pages to make, it's really easy. So, what we want to do first is I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, well, my photograph could come over here to the left or it could come over here to the right. And then our text could be right here. If you look at the original, which I'm not going to show you right now, we kind of had the text over here to the left, if you recall, and then our photograph here to the right. Let's do it a little differently, and let's put our photograph here. But what I want to do first is I want to change this div a little bit and make this wider, and then we can place the text right here. So what we want to do is, all we have to do is go back to our CSS style sheet, and let's maneuver this just a tad. We've got a width of 460 pixels. Let's go ahead and change that to 550. So when you're doing the math, you see that if we're going to add 90 pixels to this, then we probably need to take 90 pixels off of that so that everything fits together. And you'll see what I mean once I do this. I'm going to do 550 pixels right here, and then I want to lessen this by 90 as well. So let's try 210. Command S and refresh, and look, it worked, and yours should too. This will be a nice space for our photograph. If you look right here, though, this kind of butts up against the edge here, so we need to do padding, as I'm sure you have surmised. So that's on the left, and so let's go ahead and give it a padding. And really, we don't need padding on the bottom here or the right side necessarily. We may want to come back to it later. So I'm just going to say padding hyphen top colon, and let's just say like 5 pixels. And then let's do padding hyphen left colon 5 pixels. And let's see what that looks like. And we'll be able to tell because that text is still in there. And what it did was it moved this over here. But when you're doing padding, what it does is you can change something here, but it changes everything with the width. And see, what happened is that this dropped down inconveniently. So what we want to do is, let's go back in to our right side. We don't have any padding there. But I bet you if we change this and we lessen this by 5 pixels, it's going to bring this part back up again. So I'm going to change that. And it did. We're probably going to want to put a little padding here too, but we'll get to that in just a little bit. I'm going to go over here and I want to go to my HTML, and I can get rid of this. So let's get rid of the H3 and the heading, the heading tag, and we're going to put in an image source because we're going to put in our image. Let's go for it. Now, my image that I'm going to put in here is a picture of, let's see, it's a picture of this mountain right here. So, and you should go ahead and put in a mountain as well, and then you can tailor it to your needs after we've gotten everything where it needs to be. So mine's called mountain.jpg, and that's all I have to do is place it inside of here, mountain.jpg, and quotation marks, and then don't forget that /. And let's see what it looks like. It's probably going to go off because it's kind of a smaller area. But let's see what happens when we place that there. Okay, so it worked. It still looks a little goofy. I'm not that thrilled with it, actually. I think I'm going to make this a little bit smaller, and I can do that in my image. What I can do is I can style it, actually. So this is a tag, so I don't need a hashtag. I'm just going to say IMG, and that's the tag. And then I'm going to go like this. Let's go ahead and put that end curly brace there. And then we can put in a width of, and let's just guess it right now. We know it's going to be wider than it is taller, so let's try Well, if you look here, this is the width on this div is 550. Maybe I want to make it like 350. 350 pixels. And then let's make the height. Let's try 200 pixels. Oopsies, I forgot the colon and the semicolon. That's super important. Command S, and let's hit refresh. And it did make it smaller. Again, not thrilled with the way this looks. Maybe we want it larger. Should we go for larger? Let's go for larger. 450 pixels and 300. And again, just guessing. This is what it's all about. It's just guessing what it is that we like. 550, 400, and you can tailor it. Too big. You know, you could spend all day working out the look of this. I'm gonna say 380 just for the heck of it. Don't love it, but it's not bad. Let's put a little padding on that, again, on that left. Let's make that 10 pixels and see what that looks like. 10, Command S, Control S, and since we've got this here, let's make this 15 pixels and 15 pixels, and then we'll fix that other div. Command S. Maybe a little bit more. Sorry, you guys. 18 pixels, 18 pixels, Command S. Refresh. But what it does is, if you can see that this div becomes bigger. So I can change the right div. I can change the margin on the right div. So it brings it back up. And it becomes closer together, or I can make it smaller. So let's change this to 195 first. Command S. And then, oh, didn't do it. And let's change the margin to 5. Command S. Okay, it worked, but look here. It pulled it up. So margin on our, but and it looks silly when it's that way. So if you're going to change the margin on the left, you got to change the margin on the right. 10 pixels, and then let's just make this 190 and see if that works. It's okay. Again, this became larger. It's, even though it says 400 pixels here, it became larger with all the padding from the top. So what we could do is put padding on here to make it from the top. Let's do a Command C. Let's put in padding at the top here. Command S. Oh, oopsies. Command S, and there, it dropped it. Now we can put our text in here. And so what I want to do is put in a little text. It's going to be a little bit strange. Maybe I want to pull this over just a little bit on the right div. The way I would do that is I would have to change my margin. As you know, that when you do just margin, it's putting in 10 pixels on all sides. So what I could do is go in and go, okay, I want 10 pixels on top, because that's where it starts. It reads it from the top right, bottom. Let's keep that, and let's make this 5 pixels. Command S, and let's see if that worked. Oh, and it didn't do anything. Can you believe it? I can. Let's just start writing inside of here and see what happens. We're on our right div, and we can say, let's do an H. Let's do an H2 to make it a little bit smaller and say, welcome to my site /H2, Command S. Oop, refresh. Welcome to my site. Looks good. Again, padding needs to be more prominent on the right div. And we only have padding on the top. So let's put padding on the left. Padding, colon, left. And let's try for 5 pixels first. Command S. Hit refresh. Oh, it brought that over there. Let's do it a little bit more. 10 pixels. And it dropped it down. Dadgummit. So this is what this is all about, people, though. It really is. What to do, what to do. Let's make the left a little bit smaller. 540. And see if that helps. Refresh. And it dropped back up. Brought it back up. This will have to just be nudged around a little bit. We might want to go back in and change our padding on the left side a little bit. Let's try 14, 13 pixels on that. Command S. Every time you're just doing Command S. And then maybe from the top, do it a little bit less. Command S. Hit refresh. Not my favorite, but it will do for now. I want to make the right a little bit now. I want to make it larger. Command S and hit refresh. Okay. Now I would like to change the font on this. You don't have to do this, but I'd like to. So where am I going to do that? What level? Well, I can change it at the level of, I can make sure that on the right side that the font family changes. So what it does is, if you recall, we placed the font family on at the body level so that everything from the body on down, all of the tags will stay with Courier. Well, it will do that until it gets to a lesser tag, meaning a smaller area. So we can put it on the right or the left. I'm going to put it on the right because that's where my text is going to go. And I'm going to say font-family : and I'm going to change mine to Arial. You could change, I was going to change it to Helvetica, but you have to remember that just because you put in some kind of interesting font and you have that font on your computer, your viewers may not have that font. Arial is a system font. So is Courier, so is Times New Roman. These are basic fonts. And so you want to keep that in mind. You want to keep it kind of basic. CSS3 is a little different, and that's not what we're doing. This brand of CSS is called CSS2. If you want to go into CSS3, that's a whole other bag of cornballs, let me tell you. Not much, but a little bit of rule change on there. So let's stay with this, though, right now. Command S, hit refresh, and then that changes it to that. Then I can come in here and I can write in a little bit of text. So in the right side, it's all going to be Arial. So over here, I'm going to come in and I'm going to say, welcome to my site. And then I can do a little P tag. And I can say, or I could do an H3 actually first. H3 : my name is Kelly. And you can put in anything you want. Command S, let's take a look. Yay. And then one more, let's put in a little bit of text explaining what this is about. P tag and say, I was born in a log cabin. No, I'm going to say I moved here. I moved to Las Vegas from Steamboat Springs, Colorado. You can put in something that you'd like. It's Colorado /P, and then Command S, and then you can put other stuff in there. La 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 la. Okay. Over here we've got your footer. Usually a lot of times people put extra information like visit us on Facebook or whatever. I don't have a Facebook page, but you can place anything here you want. But if you can see what is missing from this div, you guessed it, padding. Let's put a little padding on there, even though we really don't care about the content right now. And again, you can spend some time putting in the content for yourself, but I'm going to put in a padding of padding left, hyphen left, and I'm going to put in 10 pixels to stay with conventions here for this one. Left, Command S, hit refresh, and it didn't work. Why didn't you work, Footer? Oh, I didn't even put that in correctly. 10 pixels. What am I thinking? Command S. I wasn't. That's the problem. There. And let's put in some padding top. Okay, so I'm flipping back and forth between just doing a margin or padding like this with just going across with it saying this is my top padding, this is my bottom padding right there, this is my right padding, this is my left padding, but you can also be more specific. It's totally up to you. Let's try 10 pixels here, Command S, hit refresh. Oop, dropped it down too much. Let's try 5. Save, hit refresh. A little better. Not my favorite though, again. It's doing some funky stuff when you do that. I don't know why it's doing that. Oh, and looky here, this is a lesson. A teaching moment, as they say. When you put in padding over here, it drops out of here. So again, math, doing the math, our footer does not have a specified width. So if we put in a width of, let's see, we had our width over here of 800 pixels. Well, we've got a padding left of 10 pixels. So 800 minus 10 is, oh, we do have a width. We would want to be more specific. So we could say 790 pixels because 800 pixels minus 10 is what? Yes, simple math. And let's see if this works. Command S and hit refresh. And it did. It dropped it back up here. You can mess with this. You can spend all day on this if you wanted to, but we're not going to. So there we have our first page and a template for everything else. For the other pages. So this is where it gets pretty simple. What we want to do is we want to save this code. We want to save it 4 more times, and we're going to name it something else. In text edit, if you hit file save, it's just going to save. If you hit duplicate, it's going to get goofy up here when you try and save it. It'll try and save it as a .txt. So with Notepad, you can just save file, save as, yes, Clarence. It's easier on a PC. Okay, there, I said it. So let's on a Mac, let's go ahead and just Command A to select it all, Command C, and then let's do a new one, and we're going to do a Command V to paste it into here. And then what we want to do is we are going to rename it, and we're going to rename it all of these different pages that we just created, so it will have something to go to. So first of all, I see my error here, so I'm going to change this. Wait, let's just close this for a second. Let's change it at the top. Don't delete. Right over here. Yes, I never caught that in my other video. This one's called faves.html, and this one's called contact. And you want to catch all of your errors before you begin saving this as 3 other pages, because then you have to go back in and fix all of it, and you'll see that will become evident here. Command S. Now Command A, Command C, File New, and Command V. Okay, and then we're going to save it as, so the first one we're going to save it as about.html. So let's go File, Save. We're going to name this one about.html. Make sure that this is not checked, and we want to save it onto our desktop where our other pages are. And let's hit save. Okay, so now this is called about.html. And what we want to do here is let's change the content just a little bit, and let's say about me. And then we can just get rid of this action right here. And we can say We can put in whatever we want. La, la, la. You can put all kinds of stuff in there, whatever you want. And then we want to put in a new image to designate that it is different. So I have in here, let's see. I have in here something called picture of me. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in. And then let's see what happens. So you want to put in a picture of you. Don't put in a picture of me, please. Please don't. Thank you. Command S. And then let's see what happens. Here we are here. And if we click on this, now this should bring us to that page. Okay, lovely. This should be restyled. I don't necessarily like this picture, but if you can see, now we've got a new page. Isn't that nice? But if we click on my favorites, it's going to go absolutely nowhere. That's a problem. Why? Because we don't have something called faves.html yet. So guess what we're going to do right now? We're going to go in and we're going to save this. So we're going to do a Command A, Command C, and copy it. And then we're going to go in and go File, and we're going to say New, and we're going to paste it. Okay, again, File, Save, and we're going to name this one faves.html. Faves.html, and save it. And then we're going to change the photograph. So I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to put on here, what did I put? Coaster, because I like roller coasters. And that's one of my favorites. So I'm going to put in here, coaster. You're going to change your image, coaster.jpg, Command S. And then I'm going to call this my favorite. My favorites. And then I could put in my P tag, whatever you want. I'm going to say these are a few of my favorite things. Okay. Command S. So if we go back in and we could hit refresh because now there is something called a faves page. And looky there, isn't that lovely? So if I go to About Me, you see, and I can go home. I can go to About Me, I can hit my favorites, and now I hit Contact Me, and guess what? Nope. Why? Because we haven't made a page called contact.html. Here we go again. All right, let's select it all. Command A, Command C, File New, Command V, and let's put in another photograph. Okay, Alt Tab is what I'm doing over here to flip through, and this next one is called phone.jpg. See, I named these simple, meaningful names. That's what you want to do too. It makes your life so much easier. So we're going to put in phone.jpg, and then I'm going to say contact me. Okay, don't put your phone number in here. Unless you want to. I'm going to put in here, you may email me, and then I can put in my email address. Now, there's a way to put a link on here so that when you can click on it and it'll automatically open up your email address. We're not going to do that right now. The Meadows School, the Meadows, SCHOOL.org. You can put in an email in there, or you could say, contact me via smoke signals. All right, Command S, that's a little joke. All right, I'm going to save this. Okay, and again, I'm going to name it contact.html and make sure it's going into the right folder, no text extension selected, and it's called contact. All right, so let's go take a look. Let's come in here. I can hit refresh because it's called contact right there, and hit refresh and it should come up, and there it is. Now look at how that dropped off there. Well, this would be a good time to go ahead and put a link on here so that it just said you may email me here, right? And then when you click on it, it is a link. I didn't want to get into that right now. I will tell you about that individually if you'd like, or we can go over it later. I'm going to go ahead and put in my other email address. It's shorter, and so it won't fall off the side. Command S, hit refresh, and there. Then it goes in there. And I can put my phone number in there too. So, again, my favorites. So every time that you have that code there, And if you get everything set correctly in all your pages, named before you actually create the pages, then it's so easy. And you've got yourself a darn good website. One more thing, I wanted to put a background color in here. Where do we do that? We do that in the body so that it goes across underneath here. So real quick, and then you're almost done. I'm gonna grab a hex code and go here, and I'm gonna put in a nice kind of darker gray. I don't know what it is about that darker gray. I kind of like it. Let's do 505050, and I can just copy that. And I can go into my CSS and put it at the body level. Come over here. What do we use? Background hyphen color colon. Paste that. Command S. And let's go have a look. Hit refresh. And oh, isn't it lovely? I could put a border around here. That's what I did before. Put a border on there. I bet you can figure that part out. But where would we put it around? We would put it around the wrapper. Again, you can just sit here with your style sheet, and guess what? It goes site-wide. That's the beauty of CSS. See, I only changed it in one place, and it hit all places in my website. That's pretty cool, if you ask me. Let's put a border around each and every one by doing it in the wrapper. I'm going to put in border colon, and I want to put it in, maybe I want to do 3 picks, and then I want to do a space, and I might want to do a dashed in black. Okay, Command S, click on it, hit refresh, and it did it. That looks a little silly right there, and you would have to mess with the padding, because if you see, it kind of dropped everything down. I don't know if I like that or not. That would be up to you and your creative license. How would I fix that though? Well, I would probably do something like, with the header, I would want to put in there something like padding, no, margin, colon 0. Let's see if that works. And I could say 0 or 0 pixels. Command S, and let's see if that does anything. No. Well, shoot. Let's just skip that then. I'm going to take that out for now. Maybe if I put it as 1 pixel, if that's going to change anything. And you could go in and take a look and see why it's doing what it's doing. I'll just delete that. But again, website design is a lot more complicated than anybody realizes. And it's a lot of this changing things around, moving this way, pixel here, pixel there. So you have the basics here. If you need to, if you want more help with this, if you want to ask me questions, I'm here. There's lots of other tutorials online. You can go here to HTML, tutorial. And they've got schools. There's HTML5. That's a whole brand new ball game, which is cool. All right, so I've taken up enough of your time. I'm going to go ahead and end this little tutorial. Have a great break, you guys.